Melody McGarren from Avery's Creek Elementary. All right, I know you're here. I've already seen you. Yes. Jennifer Lawson from Black Mountain Primary. And principals of these great teachers, if I call your school's name, you should stand also because you do the amazing work with them. James Violet from Buncombe County Schools Early College, and he is our at-large district winner. Okay, well, right, yes, both of you stand up. We love you. There we are. Also, Calvin Cross from Community High School, Lakeisha Lee from Inca Intermediate. All right, Whitney Burleson from Fairview Elementary, and she is the winner of the Reynolds District. Her dad also, you may recognize his name, he's infamous or famous or one of those two. He is principal at Inca High School. Julie Rowe from Hominy Valley Elementary. Abby Paget from Charles T. Coontz Intermediate. Carolyn Levy from Lester Elementary. I know, I'll say Lester and Leicester, just so I've covered my bases. Mr. Bryant is shaking his head.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What is the preference?
Lester.
Lester. Okay, there we go. I'll know that from now on. That's why our sign and our tagline is learning without limits. You see that? I just learned something new. So, also, let's go with Sandra Ferreira from North Buncombe Elementary. All right, Jenny Zimmerman from North Buncombe High School, and she is the North Buncombe District winner. Michelle Hammond from North Buncombe Middle School. Erica Boyd from North Windy Ridge Intermediate. Taylor Red from Charles D. Owen High School. Carol Ray from the Progressive Education Center. Katie Spink from Sand Hill Venable Elementary School, and she was the Inca, or is the Inca District winner. Joshua Lowe from T.C. Robertson High School, and he is the Robertson District winner. Karen Hamilton from Weaverville Elementary, and Angela Ponder from Weaverville Primary. Did I miss anyone? If so, you just raise your hand and come on up, and we'll talk to you back to back there. Yes? No? Okay, we're in good shape. So I just want to say, because these people will be competing further on, it is certainly that the foundation wishes you good luck in the next way. Did I miss your name? Okay. Okay. That's awesome. So anyway, the hard work. How many of you knew how many schools? We have 45 schools in the county. How many of you knew that? Principals. Sure. Really? You sit with these other principals every other day, it seems, right? So, but I really do thank these people as they give their heart and soul to the children of our country. And so thank you so very much. And now it is time for that great recognition of our principals and Principal of the Year. So this dedicated group, I just tell you, I don't know how you must have that superhero cape truly, because everything you do to run your school each day, to take care of personnel, to take care of athletics, to take care of everything coming and going, and then, there's COVID. So, but you do an amazing job, and the foundation certainly appreciates your efforts. So we're going to do you in groups, so that if the elementary and intermediate principals and assistant principals would please stand. Also, our middle school high school principals and assistant principals. Each year, one principal is named Principal of the Year. And so I'd like to call up Carla Troll from First Citizens Bank, Bob, don't shoot me, First Citizens Bank, as the Principal of the Year program sponsor for a stewards.
And I will say it is Lester, because I grew up in Lester. So you know that now.
I know.
Well, first, on behalf of First Citizens, we appreciate the opportunity to sponsor the Principal of the Year award. We've been doing it for many years now. I don't know the time frame on that, but as a bank, we believe it's important to be part of the communities we serve, and that's been the mission of First Citizens for the last 124 years. We recognize the impact our educators and administrators have on our community in the development of the leaders of tomorrow. So we're going to go off script now and add a personal note to the Principal of the Year this year. As a parent of a daughter who her favorite teacher taught her to love Latin, it's going to cry looking at it, but he taught her to step out of her comfort zone, to do things that she was uncomfortable doing as a freshman and a sophomore in high school. So he has been a big impact when he was a teacher at Inca High School. So this year's recipient, I'm very honored to be a sponsor of that and excited for him to get that recognition.
This is the power of education at work, right there. Now, to hear from that principal, Mr. Ben Alexander.
Miss Troll, wherever you went, I feel like there you are back there. Jordan was an amazing girl to teach. Thank you for letting her be in my class. So there are so many individuals and organizations that help to strengthen and advance the work of public education in Buncombe County. Without the commitment and dedication of these community partners, the advancement of that work, the growth of our students and schools would be an arduous task. As a Buncombe County school principal, I see firsthand every day how organizations such as our own Buncombe County Schools Foundation, along with the many other partners and individuals represented here today, positively affect the life of a school, enhancing the instructional ability of teachers for the benefit of their students, our Buncombe County school students. I would like to thank the foundation for their classroom grants that they have awarded to teachers at all grade and school levels. These grants provide our classroom teachers with those items needed to further generate student success and would not be possible without the foundation support. Finally, I would also like to thank First Citizens Bank as the sponsor of the Buncombe County School Principal of the Year Award. Being an administrator in Buncombe County Schools is a tremendous privilege, and I'm going to say that again. Being an administrator in Buncombe County Schools is a tremendous privilege. It's a privilege in that you get to see every day exceptional educators who are passionate about their work. Many of you know this is Teacher Appreciation Week. So I ask that if you know a teacher, please take a moment to send them an email to recognize them. Recognizing teachers for their strengths in instruction, patience, and compassion, their commitment in time, and their dedication of self allows them to see that there are so many in our community who also see these things in them, and applaud them for the incredible job that they do every day to transform lives. So thank you, First Citizens, for your belief and your commitment in public education. And as we begin to bring this school year to a close, I thank all of you for the things seen and unseen that you do to give our Buncombe County Schools classrooms what they need to succeed. Your own support and commitment and belief in us empowers us in our continuous work of progress for advancing our students. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for believing in Buncombe County Schools, and thank you for believing in public education.
What a great and dedicated individual and professional that is just an awesome role model for others, and it is a privilege for me to know him and all of my other friends out there who are principals, because I know how hard you work, and I appreciate it every day. So not only are these groups recognized, but it's time to celebrate and take care of these other counselors and social workers who work tirelessly to try and get our students, if they don't have what they need to be successful. So just think about this, from everything from helping students with scholarships, maybe mental health, as it's such a big need, homelessness, and then basically everything like dependency, right? They do everything. So if we have counselors here, I'd like you to stand and let us recognize you. And then we're going to recognize our Counselor of the Year and our Social Worker of the Year. So counselors, they counselors have an amazing impact on students' lives as they help them navigate these waters and move through all of this. So it's just an awesome pleasure to know you all and know the work that you do. So our 21-22 Counselors of the Year and Social Worker of the Year, Colleen McKay, as she is the Elementary and Intermediate Counselor of the Year. So if you'll please come forward. TC, and she is a high school counselor of the year. And then did Shannon Boyd make it in? For those of you who don't know Shannon, she is over our Family Resource Center, and she received the Innovative Educator Award this year as part of that as well. So, those are the ones that I know are here. If I have missed your name, please let me know, as always. But we certainly thank these as they're inspirational. So Will Thrasher is here. You've already heard his name called several times. Will is our grant co-chair, and he is going to come and recognize our grant winners. Will?
All right, so just to reintroduce myself, I'm Will Thrasher. I'm the assistant principal at Valley Springs Middle and a board member with the foundation. Just a few facts about these grants, because we received a lot, and they're all worthy, but we don't have so much funding. Buncombe County Schools Foundation provided 2 rounds of grants this past school year to Buncombe County Schools educators. Over 125 applied for a grant this year with a request totaling $132,000. We were able to award $35,000 in grants, so 35. It was easy to see that the request far exceeded the amount that we had to give. However, we'd like to congratulate all of our educators who took the time to complete the grant application and were funded so they could extend learning in their classroom. I would like to thank the grant committee for reading and scoring the applications. If you served on that committee, would you please stand and let us show how much we appreciate you? I was on the committee. All right, so now I will call the names of the grant recipients. I'm just going to do them all whether they're here or not. So if you would just remain standing so we can recognize you all following the receiving of your certificate. All right, Jennifer Anderson, Jolie Atkins, Randy Baldwin, Ashley Booth, Molly Carver, Lindsay Cosper, Daniel Frisbee, Danny Fusco, Jen Gallivan, Deidre Garden, Jamie Graber, Amy Green, Casey Gruen, Leslie Halls, Holly Hill, Amanda Hollifield, Laura Hoist, Sarah Hunter, Jim Kirkpatrick, Karen Levy, Melody McGarren, Karen Moyd, Matt Pospisil, Laura Provine, April Pruitt, Sarah Purser, Cynthia Root, Megan Sanders, Michelle Smith, Wayne Stone, Byron Taneska Gallman, Sarah Von Williamson, Robert Waller, and Abigail Yancey. If you would all stand so we can recognize you all as a group, please. Mr. Waller is one of our grant recipients and current teacher of chorus at Valley Springs. He's going to come up and speak about his grant experience.
So I didn't get the memo about the short speech. You talked to me on the blue bench. You just said, "Will you speak?" So I have the honor to teach at Valley Springs Middle School. I've been there since 2018. I wrote the grant. The main reason I wrote the grant was when I arrived at Valley Springs and I was going through the music library. There was music still in the library from the Biltmore School 100 years ago. So as I was taking it out of the box and going through it, some of it just disintegrated in my hands. That's how old it was. So that was my first inkling to write the grant this year. So the music at in the library at the time was not diverse, and our school system has changed tremendously over the years. So diversity is something that I try to instill in my chorus classroom. So many people think that we just go in and sing, but it's so much more than that. Research data by Chorus America indicated that an early introduction to choral singing is a building block for lifelong learning and social skills. The study found that choral singers exhibit increased social skills, civic involvement, volunteerism, philanthropy, and support other art forms. In addition, it also helps regulate your heart rate, decrease anxiety, reduces stress levels and depression, all of which we have been dealing with since we came back to school face-to-face after the dreaded C word. I've witnessed this quite a bit over the last 2 years in my choir and musical theater classes. To give you an idea of what it costs to provide students with a choral experience, I'll give you a little bit of information. Currently, octavos, which is a piece of music that we use as our textbook, ranges anywhere from $1.80 to $2.95 per piece of music, times the number of kids that are in the choir. Limited funding that we get from county helps us purchase our all-county music, and this grant money subsidized me being able to provide even more music. My fall concert, I bought all new music for that, cost me $600. Additionally, $600 for my winter concert. The grant that I received from the Buncombe County Foundation allowed me to purchase 12 new octavos, which I could easily spend $2,000, $2,500 every year buying new music. The music that I purchased, my students are currently working on several pieces. We are learning Japanese, Hebrew, Spanish, and Swahili, along with the English text as well. Being awarded this grant has not only opened up the doors for my students to learn 4 new languages, it has also given us the opportunity to talk about these cultures as well. Thank you to Christy Cheeks and the Buncombe County Schools Foundation for supporting classroom grants like mine. It has made such a positive impact on my students, and I hope that these grants will continue to be provided in the future.
You did good on the blue bench, Robert. It was excellent. Thank you very much. So I've decided I need to learn to sing because it does all of those things for you. I have probably everything in those categories, I've decided. So I probably need to learn to sing, Robert. I'll be over soon. Anyway, we certainly thank that grant committee as they work hard meeting all these grants. And when you have 72 grants or even 125 grants to read, boy, do you think that they're not competitive. And they are. So just think about how we can expand learning in our classrooms and what great opportunities these give. So I certainly am very, very thankful for everyone. And now, Bob Roberts from the Development Committee. He's our chair. He's going to come and assist with this next presentation as we now get to induct our inaugural class of the Learning Society.
Thank you, Christy. And it's great to see so many people here. Isn't it great we're together? I mean, number one, isn't that fun? I will be brief because I have another event to get to tonight, so thank you all again. Christy asked me to help with the foundation and to be the development committee chair, and I can't tell her no, so you know, what a great lady. And so we got together and we talked about a lot of things, and we decided on a learning society. And when we did, we said we're just going to call our friends. We're going to call people who care. We're going to call people who know the value of education in our community. And a sincere thank you to the Learning Society donors. You all are pioneers, because what we've started here isn't going to end here. It's going to grow, and it's going to grow. And thank you for caring for our students, for our teachers, and most of all for our community. Because what we're doing here is chasing a bear. Is really making a difference in the lives of our young citizens. And 30 people agreed to give $1,000, at least $1,000 each, basically because we passed. We just passed. No golf tournament, no fundraising costs, we just all had passed. And so I am humbled by your generosity. And so we raised over $30,000 by asking. And so, unfortunately, in today's world, it seems like public education gets taken for granted. I think the pandemic showed us that public education is so important. And to think about all that you all overcame during the middle of it, what our students overcame, what the teachers overcame, what the leaders overcame, was really outstanding. And so thank you for all of your leadership and your creativity. I will tell you that students will continue to need our help. Teachers will continue to need our help. So I would ask you all, if you're not a member of the Learning Society, you are welcome to join tonight or tomorrow or next week. But we are going to ask every member of the Learning Society, I would ask you all, ask one more person. just one more. We want to double. We want to have 60 people give $1,000 next year for $60,000. The need is huge. And so I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate your donations. And I guess you're going to recognize Larry. Okay.
So first of all, Nathan, you're on Bear Patrol. Okay, I got that back there, right? So we certainly appreciate Nathan for his talents as Workforce Development Chair and Bear Patrol leader. There we go. So what a great day this is to recognize the inaugural class of the Learning Society. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this piece, it's not that heavy enough. There we go. It was made by North Buncombe High School, CTE, and you all, am I moving? Okay, and you all have a crafted medallion that is individualized because Daryl says that they polish differently. So when you get yours, it may look a little different than your friends, and if you'd like one, we'll sell you one for $1,000. 1,000, it's going right. But anyway, I'd like for Daryl Fox and Lance Robinson to come up. They designed this in CAD. They printed this out through a laser printer. And I'd like just for them to say a quick word about why this was so meaningful as this North Buncombe High School is making a definite impact for the Learning Society. I know, he's already done a Facebook Live. He can do it.
Thank you. I'm a welding teacher at the high school in North Buncombe. Lance here is the drafting and design guy, and it's a CAD table that we raised funds for years ago, and it's just about getting the students to work. I mean, this is all student driven. It's their job. We just kind of supervise it and get it done, and we just appreciate what you do and the money that comes in. We need it. All we can get.
He got the short memo, right? We appreciate it. So there are many of these back on the table when we get ready to exit. And Learning Society, we will take a class photo underneath the flag today. Except the flag is drooping now, but you know what happens with that. But anyway, we definitely want to make sure that you know how much you mean to us and how much your support means to us. So if you also look, there is a plaque that will hang at the central office with everyone's name on it, and we're certainly very appreciative of everybody that gave. So without further ado, we will ask you to come up. You'll receive your certificate over here. And we didn't know how heavy these things really were going to be because I hadn't felt one until today. So what we want to do is we are going to let you pick yours up back there so you don't have to carry it around everywhere. But I promise it's not that heavy. And it certainly will look good in your living room, on your deck, or anywhere you decide to put it. And for $1,000, other people can have one too. So here we go. Let's recognize Dan and Jennifer Anderson. What a great family this is, and I had the pleasure of teaching Jennifer in school when I was a year lad doing that. And so she is my second best. She came to my wedding, so see, this is what family this does. Dr. Tony Baldwin and his sister, Dr. Jan Webster. And Dr. Baldwin is here. And we certainly, what an awesomeness it is to have your superintendent support such a great effort. Great on-the-job training with Dr. Bolton. I think that's what we would call it, and so I am very appreciative of him. Also, Sheila Ellenberg and Bob Maxwell. Thank you all so much. family is also my family as well. Not maybe bloodline, but certainly in friendship line. Mr. and Mrs. Roger Metcalf. Next we have Chip and Kim Clemens. Now, you'll understand these people as we move forward. So anyway, Mr. Bob Roberts. Next we'll have Mr. Steve and Jill Sizemore. And Mrs. Karen Tessier. Who I love to pieces. Not that I don't love everybody else to pieces, but she does a lot for us. Thank you. And several of you might know Mr. Steve South. He has South College over on the hill. Mr. South and my husband actually played football together in high school. We won't get into any of that. But he actually is a Learning Society member also with us. So Dr. Satterfield will be coming and accepting on his behalf. Don't tell him anything ugly I've said. Anyway. Also, Mr. Jason Walls. And Mrs. Terry Van Dyne. Thank you. So again, if I miss you, I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, you better let me know now. Right? Otherwise, don't forget, we'll take our inaugural photo at the flag. You might get a picture or something. And then you can pick up your medallion there as well. Do you know how much this impacts Buncombe County Schools and the Buncombe County Schools Foundation? Tremendously. So thank you all. We are going to use your money, I promise you, in the best interest of our students and our teachers. And so thank you for being an education advocate. How exciting it is. That was very exciting. Here's another exciting thing. We are going to introduce a new scholarship program for Buncombe County Schools Foundation. I am a workforce advocate 100% and have the great pleasure of working with Nathan Ramsey at the workforce department. He still says that, and I do too. You know, we just won't hold on to that forever. But we all have to know the value of education and workforce development. They go hand in hand. There is no doubt about it. So, earlier this year, Mrs. Joanne Jones donated a significant sum of money in hopes that we could get the Smart Scholars Program started. Not only did we have her generous donation, we also had a donation from an anonymous donor. So to start the Learning Society, we're very, very thankful that we have $65,000 to do this program. And so you too can give to the Smart Scholars Program. But I'm going to ask Dana Jones, Fairleigh Patton, Nathan Ramsey, and April Brown from the Chamber to come forward and let's talk about the special announcement.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for being here. We are truly appreciative of all you do to support the Buncombe County Schools Foundation and Buncombe County Schools. First, I'd like to thank the members of the Scholarship Committee from the Buncombe County Schools Foundation. If you'll please stand. I know you guys are here, so stand and be recognized. process to read these applications of all these worthy applicants and make the final decisions about who will receive the scholarship awards. So thank you all for your efforts. We'll be making announcements shortly about upcoming award ceremony, and if you haven't been to any of these award ceremonies before, please do join us for those. It's incredible to see firsthand what the scholarships can do for our students and their families. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jones to talk with you about the Smart Scholars Award.
How's everybody doing? Everybody good? So first of all, maybe we should give Christy Cheeks a round of applause for such a great. Like Bob said, it's just so great to be with everybody, not be on like a Zoom meeting or something. Right? Y'all, I'm going to talk about Smart Scholars, but first this whole thing is about power of education. So it's all going to kind of come full circle, I hope. So I was one of these kids. I hated school. I just didn't like it. I went to school to see my pretty wife and play sports. So that's kind of what I was there for. And there's a lot of kids probably like me that really aren't academics, so to speak. So I still don't understand why there's letters in math. Like, not sure why you would even do that. So that's just what it is. So like literally the lone bright spot of my day sometimes was going to Christy Cheeks' class. I'm serious. Other than lunch, as you can tell, I had missed many meals. But going to Christy's class, literally, some days for me was literally the lone bright spot of my day before football or wrestling games. So thank you so much. Right. So fast forward 25 years, you can't say no to her. Everybody here knows, right? So she says, "Would you like to be on this board?" And I'm like, "Oh, not really. I work a lot. I got a bunch. I got kids, and so of course, yes, anything you need." Right? So now I'm on this board, and and now I'm on every committee because and then so I'm watching these like Dan Anderson, Jason, and Corey, and Steve Scott. So I come to Alex and I say, I really can't help you. There's nothing really I can do. You have like really great people, way better than like you don't need my help. She says, well, hang in there, right? We're gonna find something for you to do. Maybe you can sweep up after the meeting. so that's kind of like like where this Smart Scholars program started, believe it or not, like really humble kind of beginnings, and I really just didn't know what purpose kind of I had here, right? So as I go into community, as you go into community with your backgrounds, you've probably spoken to people who say, what do we do to support the trades? It's always that conversation of, well, really nothing, right? So I would talk to Christy. I might have a couple of Crown Royales in me and call her on a Friday, and we would talk for an hour, and I would say, what does the board do for kids who have like 2.5 GPAs like I did? And she was like, well, I'm not really sure. I'll get back to you on that. What does the board do? What does Buncombe County Schools Foundation Board do to support the trades? It's kind of long silences, right? So that's where this kind of comes from, is just those conversations. So I finally came to her one day, I was talking on Friday, and I remember, and I had been talking to my uncle about he can't find anyone to work. The NOI is here, H&M is here, and they can't find electricians. They can't. So I had this same talk with my uncle. What are you guys doing to support the trades? And I said, well, I'd like to talk to you about this scholarship. Well, what are you doing to support the trades? So Smart Scholars is our way to help build the county's workforce, right? So Buncombe County Schools Foundation does that by providing scholarships and partnering with businesses and industry to give these scholarships to graduating seniors. So I'll give you a couple of facts. So you can go to a community college or a trade school or technical college for about $2,500 a year. You can go to a four-year university for about $8,000 a year. So an exciting thing about this program is for every one student we send to a four-year university, we could send 3 to 4 students to a trade school or a 2-year community college, right? That's wonderful. 4 times the students we're helping, it's pretty good, right? The other part that I like about Smart Scholars is these jobs that these young people are gonna get, and Nathan will speak to this, I'm sure, way more eloquently than I will, but if the median income in Buncombe County is in the low 30s, these jobs that we're gonna help these young people get kind of start in the mid-30s, right? We're starting these young people, solidly in the middle class, and then they go up to the high 50s. I don't know what H&M would pay a licensed electrician or a plumber or a welder, but it's going to be good money in comparison to some of these jobs they could get. So what I would ask from all of you as you go into the county, remember this brand new program. When you're talking to folks and they say, what do you guys do to support the trades? Go, I'm going to get you in touch with Christy Cheeks or any of these board members, right? So go to our website with all the board members' information is on there, and get these folks in business and industry, or if you have friends that have students who want to be welders, get them in touch with us. We want to send them to school. Okay, so thank you. So that's the Smart Scholars Program, I guess, in a nutshell.
The most dangerous place in the world is to be between an objective that Christy wants to achieve and Christy. Because I would never want to be in the middle of that, because Christy is, someone earlier said that today, and I always refer to Christy as the Energizer Bunny. She never stops, she never gives up, she never quits. And her passion and enthusiasm for young people and for students and for our local employers and businesses is really infectious. So, Christy, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out also to Barbara Darby, Assistant Director of the Workforce Board, and Mark Chernecki and Brandon Priester of Atlanta Sky, who are with us today, for helping support this event. But this effort is sort of like, from a farmer standpoint, it's springtime. And when you plant a seed of corn, you plant one seed. But in the fall, that one seed will generate between 2 and 4 ears of corn. Each of those ears of corn will have about 800 seeds. And so that's what education is all about. You get to touch so many lives and generate so many opportunities. And in our community today, we have thousands of job openings with really good paying jobs, but we've got many young people and others who are struggling to support themselves. So this is really about breaking down the barriers between education and work. Why can't a welder learn poetry and a poet learn welding? So it's learning by doing, it's work-based learning. And April Brown of the Asheville Chamber will speak more about that. But we're so excited to build a talent pipeline to support local businesses like Woodland Butte, Pratt & Whitney, MB Haynes, Thermo Fisher, so many other companies, Advent Health, so many others that are represented today. And we're really grateful for your support for this effort. I really believe, number one, we're in a war for talent. So if you're in an organization, the best thing you do is take care of the people you have, because someone else is trying to hire your people right now. But I really believe the communities that will be most successful in the future are those communities that best develop the human capital in their communities. And this is what this is all about, is to allow people to achieve their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations here in our community. So we're really grateful for the leadership of Christy and the Schools Foundation. I'd like to turn it over now to April Brown, who's the Director of Industry Recruitment and Retention of Asheville Chamber.
Well, thank you, Nathan and Christy, and I can vouch for using Jason's example why I'm here. It's because Christy asked me. And but the other thing I wanted to say about Christy that I think hasn't been said is that I am just so impressed with your mindset for innovation. After 35 years as a professional, usually people are ready to just retire and take a break. But she continues to try to think of solutions and create solutions that are creative and innovative. And I also want to thank Nathan. You both have been amazing mentors for me as I've been in economic development, which can't be done without workforce development. So thank you for asking us to be here, and we're really grateful to support this effort. And so the Asheville Chamber is, of course, a member organization. Our tagline is building community through business. So ensuring that this Asheville community is business friendly. I am on the Economic Development Coalition team, though, and so I'm an Asheville employee. I'm governed by a different board. The Economic Development Coalition is a public-private partnership. And a lot of people don't really know what we do, which I didn't either before I started working there. So it's understandable. But our role is to ensure that our economy is diverse. Our role is to be looking at the data and paying attention to the trends and looking to see how we can continue diversifying our economy. So we are out there supporting especially the employers, the larger manufacturers, because as Nathan and as Mr. Jones, got it, mentioned, we are paying attention to these target industries because they have a median and average wage that's higher than the average wage in our county. So we want to continue diversifying and adding jobs that are in those industries so that we have opportunity for our future population. So a couple other things I wanted to mention that I think is important to think about, I guess a personal story. So my son is just shy of 9 years old. And when you look at the Smart Scholars pamphlet, it talks about the question that my son started getting when he was 6, which was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he got that question and was like, what do I want to be when I grow up? A doctor, okay. And I think that's really understandable that a 6-year-old would think they want to be a doctor. I think what the Smart Scholars program is doing is so important because if you think about a 6-year-old, they haven't seen many professions other than a doctor and their parents. They don't know what their parents are doing, but they see this person in a uniform. So they think, okay, I want to be a doctor. Well then, my son turned 7 and he said, well, how much school does a doctor have to go to? Is it more than a nurse? And I said, yes. He said, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. And I said, okay, you still have to go to school. And he said, okay, I don't know what I want to be. So while I am an advocate of education, I have higher education degrees, I am also an advocate for finding a lot of different pathways for everyone. There is something for everyone in each of these industries, whether it's in manufacturing or in healthcare or even in hospitality. There's a lot of places for people to contribute and build wealth in their own family. A lot of people don't know about our economy that, we think about the employment industries in Asheville. It must only be hospitality, it must only be leisure, it must only be tourism. And the reality is that tourism, yes, is a very important industry in our community, but manufacturing is 11 to 12% of our employment employment industry. So, and healthcare is 20%. So the opportunities that exist in those industries are great. And the programs that Christy has been leading in career technical education, and now the way that she's thinking about how the foundation can support those trade programs, I think is as important as it's ever been. So thank you for letting us kind of bend your ear. I think it's all about exposure. And the more we can expose our kids to all the opportunities that exist, I think the better our community will be.
How exciting it is that we will start Smart Scholars next year with 5 $1,000 scholarships, whether a student is going to do an apprentice or apprenticeship or whatever their endeavor may be. We're here to fund that, and we're here to support that. And so when you think about the trades, really, and we think about a skilled trade, something somebody does, I'm happy to put agriculture right there in that area as well. I'm happy to put communication. I'm happy to put healthcare. We're happy to put in all the things that are so desperately needed. And again, it's the talent that we have to develop with an educated talent pool that's going to make our economy grow. And again, I just want to say thank you to Mrs. Jones and to our sponsors of this wonderful scholarship, and I know it is going to make a difference. It is, and we're going to elevate the trades to make them look better than ever. As I told somebody earlier, construction is no longer construction. We're going to call that construction connoisseurs, right? And we're just going to change some terminology to elevate this for others. So thank you to the Chamber, thank you to the Workforce Development Board for endorsing this program, because without you, I don't know that we can get our marketing word out as much as we need, but I do know that employers are going to stand up and say, this is for me, and I want to be a part of Smart Scholars. So thank you. Next, before I finish, it's amazing how shy y'all get when I call your name or I ask you to stand, and you don't do that. So I do understand that we did have some people that we missed. Angie Brock, who is the Social Worker of the Year. Angie. Are you shy people? I know you, and you're not shy people. So if there's anyone else, I do want to give a shout out to Advent Health, as they are so gracious. And Victoria and I have been taping some information sessions, and we're going to do some others. So I'm very, very thankful as we get ready to do that. But I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This was not a Christy roast, I promise, but my passion is truly education and what we can do to make our world better. And I will continue to strive to do that every day I wake up and every day that I can do it. So I welcome Kim Clemens over here as she's going to wrap us up. And then if you want to try to go over the bare wall, I think that would be maybe possible. Some of you I heard had a harrowing and trying time getting up here, that you prayed a lot. Still, that works too. And I just am very, very eternally grateful for you.
Okay. So I'm looking at Jason because he says it's always, when I start talking, it goes on and on and on. And I'm going to be quick. I promise you I am. Let me just say, I am so proud of this organization. I am the chair of the marketing committee. I've been on this board for many, many years, so many years. And what I will tell you is we are doing our very best work now. Under the leadership of Christy Cheeks. A couple of you have already recognized her. You stole my thunder. But I want everybody to give her a hand again. She is fabulous. To everyone that's here tonight, thank you for what you do. I had a 40-year career in banking and decided I wanted to do something meaningful. And I'm going to cry too. I substitute. And what is going on in these classrooms, the counselors, the administrators, I promise you, these people work themselves to death. What they do for our children, my grandchildren, and everybody's children in this community is amazing. It is just amazing. And I thank you as a grandmother and a mother. I thank you for what you do each and every day. That this wraps us up, but I have to say, I do love our fans. Thank you, Karen. Market Connections, I'm going to give you a high five. They are fabulous to work with. And Christy made sure that she put this in the script, that you are literally and physically fans of education. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a great evening. Take care. Be safe.